Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your man, Greg Merriweather, the Angry Black Man with Brilliance. And I'm sitting here, just doing a little work, and just paused for a second because I was thinking about just where we're going, what we're doing, how we're doing it. And I was really thinking about the murder, just the murder and mayhem that are just running through the black community like water. And every day I sit back, I want to think about what, we always say, what's the solution? And the more and more I try to come up with a solution, the more and more I feel skeptical or even this overwhelming sense of doubt that we can even do anything to change it. Why do I feel that way? Well, when I look and I realize that most of the things that we promote are the things that would cause or create early death, or I don't know if we could call it premature death, but I would call it senseless death. Whether it be our musicians or rappers or whomever is entertaining, whether it be the television shows we watch, when I look at it, I'm starting to see that there is such a stronghold on the minds of black people. I think Malcolm X coined the phrase universal mind control that is hitting our community so hard that it's very difficult to even see the light at the end of the tunnel. When you think about blaxploitation, the movies, and you realize how much black people fought not to be pimps, prostitutes, gangsters, drug dealers, all the things that were deemed negative in our communities are now the things that we celebrate. Now we look, and our TV shows have become just so saturated with the game, whether it be all the power shows, whether it was Empire, whether it's Raising Canaan, whether it's the new show coming out called BMF. It is, we got shows called Drug Lords or Drug Kingpins. Got more documentaries on drug dealers than you do on black leaders. More documentaries on selling dope than you do on black liberation. More documentaries on killing and murder in our community than who the black billionaires are and who the black industry people are. And we look at this and we wonder why. I know people want to, a lot of people promote people in the manner in which they wanted to see them in, as opposed to who they were when they died. There are a lot of people who die, and they could die from a drug overdose or something, and people look and say, man, that dude did a lot of great work. But it's a lot of people out here dying, and they raise so much hell while on earth, and we still want to talk about what they would have, should have, or could have been, as opposed to who they are. And we celebrate them in a manner in which they were never worthy of being celebrated. And we don't pay attention to what that message is saying to our youth. When I can raise hell and tell each other to kill each other, and everything is about the thug life or thug mentality, and then you praise me. You praise me for dying at 24, 25. You praise me for causing and wreaking havoc over my community. You praise me for asking how many of y'all gonna die, how many of y'all want to die for me. You praise me when I talk all this illness and spread venom on my own people. And it's so sad when I, again, can't figure out even how to eliminate the violence, because the people that we promote the most, and our kids watch grown people talk about Rocky on Raising Kanan as if that's a great mother. Or they talk about Monet on Power 2 as if that's a great mother. We watch young men kill their fathers on television. Young black men kill their fathers on television. We watch fathers kill their sons. Black fathers kill their sons on television. We watch black mothers tell their sons to kill people on television. We watch black mothers tell their sons to sell dope on television. We watch black people who supposedly have money fight, argue, disrespect, throw champagne, pull hair, all this on television. Going back again to the phrase universal mind control, where Malcolm X said they know that everything universally has to do something to our minds to create what it is that they want for us to be. And right now, we look like a bunch of reckless people, a bunch of people with no discipline, a bunch of wild people, people with no direction, with no guidance, people with no code, no moral code, people with no desire to be better. And when you can talk to, people about it, and they find an excuse, as opposed to getting on board with a remedy, they find an excuse for justifying the behaviors. What does it mean? What does it mean to work from the jails out instead of from the outside and say, let's do something to prohibit. Let's do some preventative maintenance. We become so enamored and so driven by what we do. We want people to acknowledge us in a way that we can't even do anything organically anymore. Everything is for show. Everything is for entertainment. Everything is to bring some likes to me. And when you realize that if for those of you who are believers or Christians, if Christ said, if they didn't like me, if they don't like you, remember if they hated you, if they hate you, remember they hated me first. What does it mean to worship one who was deemed innocent yet crucified for good works? And here we are wanting to be liked. But what you will realize is when you stand for what's right, the chances of you being liked are not great. Because when you stand for something and you stand for what's right, you find that there has to be a discipline attached to it. And you find now that we're a very undisciplined people. And having money does not mean you're disciplined. It could mean that you do enough to uphold a standard that is not good for our people. Just saying. So with that being said, man, I am not sure how to curb violence, because I think that there is so much working against it, and there's so much working for it, shall I say. And I think that our leaders, our ministers, our activists, our advocates need to have a responsibility to what they post, to what they say, to what they do, to the people they uplift. That if you are putting out poison, if you are promoting poison to young men and young women who are black, if you are taking people who you know did bad things towards black people, if you are promoting people who you know fed into the murder and mayhem and the demise of black people, then you need to get out the way, because you're not helping. You're maintaining and hurting. So I want anybody on this thread, man, if you look at this video, you just tell me what you think. Because if you figure there's a way other than removing the dirt, grit and grime, removing the filth, removing the illnesses, removing those things that are part of this system called universal mind control. If we're not removing those things, trust me, we're not going to move the needle. So with that being said, man, I'm hoping for the best. I'm trying to remain positive. But right now I'm struggling. So this has been your man, Greg Merriweather, the Angry Black Man with Brilliance. Praying for us, man. Y'all have a great one. Peace.